Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan, who is chairman of the House Budget Committee, joins us right now. We invited his counterpart, Democratic Senator Ken Conrad, but he declined. Congressman, here, the debt ceiling, May 15th up. Then we hear July 15th. Why is it that Republicans seem lackadaisical about raising it or leaving it in place?
Well, I wouldn't say we're lackadaisical about raising it. The reason the date keeps moving is that's when Treasury keeps moving the date. And the reason they keep moving the date, is because they didn't have the April income tax receipt data until very recently. The point we're making is, look, if the debt ceiling is going to have to be raised, then we got to cut spending. If we want to raise this debt ceiling, if the president wants to raise it $2 trillion, then we want $2 trillion in spending cuts. It's pretty simple. You really can't tax your way out of this problem, Brian. If you do, you'll hurt the economy. And so we offered $6.2 trillion in spending cuts in our budget. This would be a third of that as much. And so we're simply saying for $1 of debt increase, we got to cut $1 of spending.
And I want to get into the budget, but just before we leave the debt ceiling, where are you in terms of negotiation?
As you know, the president has yet to put a plan on the table to fix the problem. He had a commission last year he disavowed. He created this new Biden commission. Our majority leader, Eric Cantor, the Senate minority leader for the Republicans, John Kyle, are participating in those negotiations with Vice President Biden. And that is really the heart of the negotiations that are taking place right now. And we're simply saying spending cuts, spending controls, and if you want to raise the debt limit $1, you got to cut spending $1. And that's basically what our position is, and that's what we're bringing to the table.
Let's talk about the budget that you put together. And I'm very encouraged because I'm not a big background in that, and I can understand it. It's out there for everyone to read. But according to the Rasmussen poll that came through, you're losing the momentum behind it. And it is cutting edge, and it does look to cut trillions over the next 10 years. So far, and I know you've seen this poll, Rasmussen said 26% of the country, 4% oppose it. And get this, 2 weeks ago, only 27% opposed it. And the other number that is definitely noteworthy is 40% aren't sure. Are you losing the education battle, Congressman Ryan?
Look, anything this big takes a while to sink in for people to understand. It's really, if people understand the drivers of the debt. I did 19 town hall meetings in southern Wisconsin over the Easter break. As soon as people realize just how dire our fiscal situation is and what the drivers of our debt are, namely our entitlement programs, the more they're supportive of this. So we have, I wouldn't say we're losing the communications battle, but we have a great communications challenge.
Right.
Look, if the status quo was fine, we wouldn't have a problem, but it's not. We're going to have a debt crisis. It's going to take down our economy. We're going to give our children an inferior standard of living.
Right.
And so we're putting out a plan to fix this. Go to budget.house.gov, that website, download it. It's easy to read, it's digestible, and
Right.
It explains exactly what we're proposing.
And Congressman, so we have a situation now where the President of the United States is saying that you really want to take, you in particular, want to take Medicare away from seniors and change the way Medicaid is distributed. And Congressman Dave Camp, who's chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, raised a few eyebrows when he said this a couple of days ago. After your budget passed the House, he said this: I'm not really interested in laying down more markers. I'd rather have the committee working with the Senate and with the president to focus on savings and reforms that can be signed into law, indicating prior to that quote that your plan is dead on arrival because the Senate's not going to go along with it. Are the Republicans abandoning you?
No, not at all. All that Dave Camp is acknowledging is when you do entitlement reform, you have to have budget reconciliation that goes through the Senate. The Senate isn't even passing a budget. So we can't pass this into law if the Senate doesn't give us a budget. That's what he's simply saying. It's a process point he's making, not any other kind of a point. So what he's basically saying is Medicare reform has to go through what we call reconciliation in the Senate, and you need a budget from the Senate to do that. We don't have that, so it's clear that this can't pass the Senate. That's all he's simply saying. We are not backing away from this. Look, what's ironic about this, Brian, is the president is proposing to have a board do rationing for current Medicare seniors. We repeal this board,
right.
Leave Medicare intact for people above the age of 55, and then save it with a more personalized Medicare system for the next generation. And it's a system that works like the kind of plan that federal employees and members of Congress have. It's a system that works. It's a system that uses ideas that have proven to save money. And it's a system that saves Medicare.
Right. Chairman Ryan, thanks so much. It's complicated. At least we're all talking about cuts. At least that could be progress. Chairman Paul Ryan, thank you.
You bet. Take care.